wireless. I had to plug it in because it dropped like 17 times last block. Thank goodness. All right, so we're going to record this. Now, guys, normally when we were doing this, I would be much more, what should I do now? And it would be back and forth. But we're a little bit short on time, so I'm going to go a little quicker, yeah? And because you already, when I go through this, you're going to be, if you didn't do it right, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember that now. Okay? So this first one, you, of course, remember that dividing a fraction is the same as multiplying the reciprocal. And then, of course, some of you would just multiply straight across, and then you got 56 over 252, and then you simplified. Others of you, if you were in my classes last year, hopefully remember the little shortcut. 4 goes into 4 once, and it goes into 8 twice. 7 goes into 7 once, and it goes into 63 9 times. 2 times 1 is 2. 9 times 1 is 9. And the answer is 2/9. The cancel-y thing? That's okay. That's the kind of the point, you know. Here, you remember that x squareds have to go with x squareds. So I had 10, and then I added -2. 10 and -2 is 8x squareds. And then you recognize that x's have to go with x's. -7 plus 2 is -5x. And then you remembered that numbers go with numbers. 6 plus -9 is -3. And that's how you did that one. This one takes a long, long time to explain. So I'm just going to write the right answers because we're running out of time today. And tomorrow we'll actually have a moment to talk about it, okay? But the answer is there's 3 sides, there's 8 of them. 2 sides, there's 60 of them. 1 side, there's 150 of them. And 0 paint is on 100. Oh, see, frozen. 0 paint is on 125 of them. I'll explain tomorrow when we got a little more time. This question I was just talking about with my friends at the front here, they did it right. They found the whole rectangle, and then they subtracted 4 circles because you drilled this hole, and there's 1 circle there. There's 1 circle there, 2 circles there, and then, of course, they're on the back as well. So they subtracted 4 circles, but then they remembered to add 2 cylinder walls. Because if this was the rectangle, and I drill a hole through it, and I dip this in paint, this cylinder will fill up with paint. So that is new surface area. So even though you drilled a hole, you had to add some surface area to it. Okay? And I want to make sure we get to... You okay, Nick? Okay. Exponents. 8 to the third, 4 to the fourth. First of all, I want them to have the same base. What's the base up top? It's 8. The bottom one is 4. Those aren't the same. But isn't 8 2 to the third power? That's 8, right? 2 times 2 times 2. And isn't 4 2 squared? So now are they the same base? Yes. And this top one was to the third power, and this bottom one was to the fourth power. What do you do over brackets with exponents? 2 to the 9th over 2 to the... Over 2 to the what? 8. Then what do you do when you subtract? I just gave it away. What do you do when you're dividing? Subtract 2 to the 1. But we would never write 2 to the 1, would we? You just write 2. And I'm going to actually stop there. Tonight, please try to finish 6 through 15, I think it is. Now, but here's what I want you guys to see now. So,